Women Against Abuse is celebrating 50 years of service with Philly's Best Women Chef competition, Dish It Up. It's happening on Thursday, June 11th at the Crystal Tea Room in Center City. This year, step into a groovy 1970s-inspired night featuring delicious bites from top local chefs, an open bar, and the chance to connect with hundreds of changemakers. Best of all, proceeds support survivors of domestic violence. Get your tickets at womenagainst.abuse.org. You know that feeling when your home just doesn't look as good as it should, but tackling a painting project feels like a headache? Between the mess, the time, and the worrying about the results, it's easy to put it off. That's why homeowners trust Hyler Painting. Their proven 7-step process keeps everything clean, organized, and stress-free. And it's backed by a 5-year warranty. Their mission is simple: to create raving fans. Get your free estimate today at hylerpainting.com. It's the Friday News Roundup. We're talking about why the police department is asking for nearly $1 billion. Renters and landlords, they're still going at it over some proposed legislation. How expensive it could be to see the FIFA World Cup down at the stadium. Plus, we've got a brand new members-only segment, and this week, we're talking major changes to Pride celebrations. It's Friday, April 17th. I'm Trenae Nuri, and here's what Philly's talking about. Joining me this week at the Filler Club is CityCast Philly senior producer Abby Fritz. Hey, Abby.
Good morning, Trenae.
Good morning. I am loving this new benefit that we have for our CityCast Philly neighbors, and we are really excited to get into it because we know that our neighbors are the ones who really want to dig into the stories behind the headlines, right? They want to know like how new changes and new things in the city are going to impact them. It's sort of like the nitty-gritty of the city, right? And so we have this really great extra bonus segment that we're going to put into our Friday News Roundups. And it's kind of like our way to also talk about like some hot takes from the two of us. And this week we are talking about how Pride is pivoting and just really the response there's been so far happening in the city.
I'm going to save it for the segment, but there's a lot to talk about. I will say I am so excited about this new segment too, because I feel like whenever we're picking topics for this episode, there's always some things we have to leave out just because of time and space. So this is a great chance for us to like get at some of those things that we wouldn't usually be able to get at, and you're not going to want to miss it.
You're not just going to hear us talk. We're going to give something away to our neighbors too. So we've got this really cool pennant, which is also a perk for being a CityCast Philly neighbor.
Yeah, they're so cool. You know, they're like those triangular flags that a lot of colleges have or sports teams have. You like hang them on the wall. Ours is so cute. It's orange, of course. It has a cheesesteak on it. Love it. Great for showing off your Philly pride.
So you might want to, okay, Trenae, Abby, how do I get one of these things? Head over to membership.citycast.fm/Philly to sign up. $10 a month, $100 for the year. And remember, you're also going to get other perks like invites to our members-only events. You're also going to get a heads up on what's happening in the city from Siani's special newsletter on Mondays. So make sure you head over to membership.citycast.fm. All right, we're going to get into some of the news this week. There's been so much drama from renters' rights groups and landlord groups. And it's all over this sort of package of bills known as Safe, Healthy Homes Act. And we did a whole episode about it a few weeks back. But the gist is that Council Member Nicholas O'Rourke introduced this package of bills that would expand renters' rights. So specifically protections from landlord retaliation when a renter complains about conditions of the property, and also allowing renters to withhold payments if the landlord doesn't have an active rental license or doesn't make certain repairs at the property, the apartment, the home.
Yeah, I mean, this has been a dog fight. People have been going at it. Landlords and renters' rights advocates are super vocal on both ends. And I think something to note specifically from the landlord side is they're saying that this legislation is going to impact small-time landlords more than the big companies that...
Like the management company type landlords.
Yes, exactly. And so the bills originally passed, but in a really unexpected, unanticipated move, 2 landlords sued the city for violations of the state's open meeting laws. And this basically held up the bills from passing.
Okay, so essentially they had to go back to the drawing board and restart the legislation process.
Yeah, exactly. They had to start over. It went through committee again. It passed again and was up for another vote to formally pass it off to the mayor's desk. And then the landlords asked...
it continues. Okay.
And it goes on. Then last week, landlords asked the courts to hold the city in contempt. Basically, they said, we sued y'all, and we asked you to comply with the Sunshine Act, with the open meetings rules that are in the state. And even when you restarted the legislative process, you didn't do it. You, again.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. Okay, so what else happened this week?
So this week, there was a ruling about the lawsuit that the landlords made against the Safe and Healthy Home Acts, along with the contempt motion. They didn't decide anything. They basically said, okay, we are going to make a decision on this, though. We're going to take it in the court, and we're going to process it, and we're going to fully consider it. But the judge who made this ruling denied the landlord's request to pause the bills. The legislation can continue going through the city council system in the meantime. So there's no pause on the bill being heard in Philadelphia as of right now.
Interesting. Well, we'll definitely keep an eye on that story. We've got more news after the break.
Hey everyone, it's Abby Fritz, senior producer here at CityCast Philly. We're in our spring membership campaign, and we have something really special for new neighbors who join over the next 2 weeks. So you've probably seen Oxford pennants, those felt wool pennants. They're on Instagram, or maybe they're hanging at your favorite local spot. They're so cool, American-made, and really add to a space. So this spring, they made one just for us, for this city, as a celebration of everything we love about it. It's orange, it has our city name front and center, a cheesesteak icon, and it says, I live here on purpose. Because we do. These are handcrafted in Buffalo, New York, and they're designed specifically for CityCast Philly. You're not gonna find them anywhere else. So hang it in your home, your office, anywhere you want to remind yourself and everyone around you that you love this city with all of its quirks, all of its delights, and that you want to be a part of making it better. And when you become a CityCast Philly neighbor, you're also going to get ad-free listening, invitations to member-only events, and so much more. It's $10 a month or $100 a year, and it goes directly to supporting this show and the team of locals who make it. So join before April 24th to get the pennant at membership.citycast.fm/Philly. That's membership.citycast.fm/Philly. We'll see you around the neighborhood.
Shifting gears, speaking of city council, we are in the middle of the budget season, which means that we're going to hear a lot from city departments. They're going to go before city council to explain why their department needs money. So this week, Police Commissioner Kevin Bethel went before city council, touting the decline in homicides, and he credited a lot of the progress from the department through youth diversion programs, through those intergovernmental collaborations between city departments and technology. And we'll get to that in just a second. He also talked about some of the challenges that the department is grappling with, like significant staffing shortages and having to pay officers overtime. So Commissioner Bethel is seeking an increase of nearly $1 billion in next year's budget for the department to address some of those challenges. when I saw that number, when I saw that headline, I'm like, 1 billion?
Wow.
Okay, let's talk about the council's response. I read this from some reporting from NBC 10, and members were pointing out that they would like the department to have better communication with city council. Mm-hmm. They like to see more transparency. And this is when the technology issue comes up. According to the Inquirer, council members Rue Landau and Council President Kenyatta Johnson asked Bethel if he could provide an annual report on how the police department is using its 21 drones.
The police department has deployed these drones nearly 8,000 times since the first responder drone program launched in 2024. It's being used right now in Kensington, in the 22nd District in North Philly, and the 15th District in the Northeast. But they want to expand it citywide. That was also something that came out this week, is that, like, we have these 21 drones now. We don't really know where they're going and what they're doing because they haven't been making public reports on their paths. That's why.
And that's why council wants them to come out with more transparency.
Yes. And they want more.
And they want more drones, right.
And they want more drones. So, I mean, 8,000 times. That's kind of a crazy number to me.
I'd be curious to know, like, what do they use the drones for? Mm-hmm. Which types of crimes or crime prevention or how does that work? And I guess that is what, they're asking for. Which was also interesting because Bethel said, yes, he would provide said report and that the department plans to actually provide drone flight data on a public dashboard at some point so that people can look at it.
Yeah, I think that's a step in the right direction because I think a lot of the concerns about like drone use in general and more increased drone use is like privacy. People are in public. They're going over, like they can go over houses. I know there was a police chase in Kensington that was recorded on a drone. Like there's so many concerns about how that footage is being used. And I read in the Inquirer that the department said that it's like kind of similar to body cam footage right now. Like lawyers can get the footage and other law enforcement agencies can request it. But they were saying like, we're keeping it pretty tight to the chest. But the PPD also sent a video of a police chase to the company that makes these drones in California to be used in promotional videos.
Oh.
Yeah. So
I don't know about that.
I don't know if I'd count that as tight to the chest.
Okay, so it's like we've got a staffing shortage, but yet technology could fill in maybe some of those gaps. Mm-hmm. But you're still going to need people power to manage all of this and to manage the dashboard, to manage the drones themselves, all sorts of stuff. This is definitely a conversation of privacy, surveillance, government surveillance.
Yeah.
I have seen... And I'm thinking about I have seen drones being used during like major public events like July 4th. I don't know if I necessarily feel like I'm safer.
Yeah.
Because I more so feel like, oh, I'm being watched.
Yeah. The other thing about privacy that came up on this meeting on Tuesday is that Police Commissioner Bethel mentioned that the PPD has not turned over any drone footage to ICE, but said if he received a federal subpoena, he would. We are still waiting for the vote on the ICE out legislation that's going through city council. It would formally limit the city's compliance with ICE. We listened back to that episode all about these bills on Wednesday. But the vote is likely to come soon, so I don't know if that would change Commissioner Bethel's answer there. But I definitely think it was something major to note from that Tuesday meeting.
We've got more news after the break. Abby, this summer is going to be nuts. I know we say that like all the time, but it literally is. And I feel like as we're getting closer to it, it's getting more nuts.
Yeah.
Start a savings account now just for outside activities, okay? Just for outside activities.
No, truly.
Save your coins right now. You got a couple more weeks to save just to enjoy outside.
Yeah, I was just looking at the World Cup, the FIFA World Cup ticket prices. it's going to be 300 or more. And 300 is good. I think most I was looking at were like 700 for one ticket to one game.
Go to a bar. Go to your neighborhood bar and watch it.
I agree.
So speaking of World Cup, it's not just happening in Philly. It's happening all over North America. And some cities, some host cities, fans are riled up because of rules on tailgating and pricing for public transportation. Reports came out that New Jersey Transit was charging commuters traveling from New York City to East Rutherford, which is where MetLife Stadium is, $100 for a round-trip ticket.
Oh, my God.
Compared to a usual fare of $12.50.
So you're going to spend over $500 on a ticket, and then you're going to spend $100 to get there.
You haven't had a drink. You haven't even eaten a hot dog yet.
Oh, my God. That's crazy.
You haven't bought your fan gear.
Oh, my gosh. Whew.
So Boston, let me tell you what's going on in Boston. Boston, reports say that fans would be charged $95 to get bused from Boston to Gillette Stadium.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. I didn't even realize about Boston's, about the $95 for that. What I had heard from Boston was about the tailgating ban. That came out earlier this week, and people freaked out. Everybody in other cities that are hosting the World Cup was like, wait, is that going to apply to us too? Because
what do you expect people to do for the World Cup? You just walk to the stadium quietly, have no emotion, get to the stadium, sit down, yay, yay, yay. Go home, walk to the stadium, walk back home. No, tailgating is part of the culture.
Yeah, and I mean, in some other cities, it's like Gillette Stadium is outside of Boston. We're lucky in Philly. Our stadium is in Philadelphia, but it's such a big cultural moment for us to tailgate. So people online were like, this better not be happening in Philly. We better be able to tailgate.
A lot of people don't even want to necessarily can't afford an Eagles ticket, or you don't, because there's so much happening at Lot K. Pulling up in their vans and their cars, firing up the grills. You see the drum lines bopping around. People are partying.
Yeah, and I mean, the host cities do have fan fests. Like, we have ours at Lemon Hill and Fairmount Park, but I just don't think that replaces a tailgate. It's also so far from the stadiums too.
Right.
I get if you're maybe not going to the game at all, but I don't know. I think that cultural moment you're speaking to is what people want. So I feel like if you take the tailgating away, you're making an already pretty inaccessible event for just monetarily inaccessible, even less accessible, because people just want to party and celebrate.
Also, hello, this is Philadelphia. If somebody could just Google Philly fans, Philly tailgating vibes, y'all know we have a good time, right? Okay, so here is how we are responding to public transportation. A spokesman from SEPTA said, we ain't doing it. We're going to keep the prices at $2.90.
Yes.
Isn't that ironic? Because last year we were like, hey, you're increasing the price for a fare to $2.90? What? When we're talking about $2.90 versus $100, actually,
we're cool with it now.
Way better. It's way better. A rep from the Eagles chimed into the conversation, said there is no ban, and same rules apply as all other ticketed events at the Link. And it won't be called the Link. It's going to be called the Philadelphia Stadium during the FIFA World Game. But yeah, $2.90.
Thank
come
God.
to Philly. Another reason why people need to come to Philly, right?
For sure.
It's going to be a good time.
Yeah, I think the city is really going to celebrate, and everybody will see how Philadelphians like to party.
Speaking of party, let's talk about our weekend plans. It is Jazz Month here in the city, and so much is happening. I'm so excited. Over at Pretzel Park in Manayunk, the West Philadelphia Orchestra is going to be playing at 5 p.m.
Oh, wow.
Tim Warfield Quartet is playing over at the Church of St. Luke in the Epiphany on South 13th Street at 6:30 tonight. And over the weekend, there's going to be tons of jazz performances over at Chris's Jazz Cafe. The Rail Park is having something on Sunday. So check out our newsletter and head out and enjoy outside.
Oh my gosh, I'm definitely getting out this weekend too. I'm going to the Maniac Street Festival.
Yes.
Yeah, you went last year, right?
Packed. Okay. I told you, have that savings account. So much good food.
Very good food. Last year, I think the key is to go a little later in the day.
Ooh, that's smart.
I went so late that people like were closing up shop a little bit. And I think it was Deke's Barbecue were actually like passing out the last of their hot dogs for free. I was going out for drinks afterwards with my friends, so I put a whole hot dog in my purse. I'm always hoarding
You're
food.
always putting food in the purse. All right, for context here, okay, we got to let the people know. For context, Abby snuck in a half of a cheesesteak in her coat pocket at a Flyers game.
Accidentally. That one I forgot about.
I didn't forget a damn cheesesteak.
I wear really big jackets, you know? But this was intentional. I just like can't say no to free stuff.
Right.
You know, and a hot dog too. It was perfect for later. But anyways, this weekend, the Maniac Festival is happening on Sunday, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Tons of vendors, food, live music. It's going to be fun. And Siani did actually a whole guide on the best food festivals coming up in the summer. So I'm excited to grub outside, and you can go check out that if you want some more ideas of other ones coming up in the coming months. And I mean, it's going to be hot. Yeah. So let's get out.
Before we head out and start to enjoy the weekend, we've got to say a big thank you to our newest CityCast Philly neighbors. Hey, Sarah V., Sarah M., and Helen E. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for y'all. Welcome to the neighborhood. Sarah M. says this: I've been listening to CityCast Philly since the beginning. Hey, I love the hyper local focus. It helps me know what's going on in local politics, culture, and to find out about quirky Philly-specific things. I've been thinking about becoming a neighbor for a while, but the I live here on purpose pennant really sold me. Keep up the awesome reporting. Yay!
It is a really cool pennant. I get that. We're glad you're here, Sarah.
Yes. And we are excited for you to join the neighborhood and get all of these great perks, just like the neighbor shout-outs. And speaking of those, we've got some special shout-outs that happened this week. We were over at the Philadelphia Ethical Society for Join Philly's Philadelphia Activities Fair last weekend, and we were able to chat with some of y'all. So here is what our neighbors had to say.
All right, my name is Bethany H., and I want to shout out the Roxborough Reservoir. It is I think, 34-acre piece of land in Roxborough. That is just a giant square to walk your dog. There is an incredible view of the city, and it's just a great spot in Roxborough. I love it.
I'm Erin P., and I'm shouting out Let Me Know Club. It's a great organization that brings together a bunch of people over crafting and friend dating and just meeting people in the city and everything. And I just love them, and I think they're doing a really cool thing.
Hi, everybody. This is Izzy M. from Brewery Town. I'm here to tell you all about the Turn the Key program. Go Google Turn the Key Philadelphia and get $75,000 down on your first house.
You too can join us and become a member so you can get a shout out and your favorite business or nonprofit. Head over to membership.citycast.fm and keep them coming. All right, that's today's episode. But if you are a CityCast Philly neighbor, stick around because we've got some bonus content and we're talking about the changes in the Pride Festival this year.
People are mad. You're going to want to hear this.
And make sure you're listening in your members-only ad-free feed. If you're not a neighbor, sign up right now during our spring membership campaign to get the hot takes in your special members-only ad-free feed. Join at membership.citycast.fm/Philly. All right, Abby, thanks so much for joining me this week on the Friday News Roundup.
Have a wonderful, warm weekend, Trenae.
You too. That's all for us today here on CityCast Philly. Our executive producer is Matt Katz. Our senior producer is Abby Fritz. Our producer is Emma Talkoff. Our newsletter editors are Siani Colon and Lizzie Goldsmith. And our host is me, Trenae Nuri. Music is by Philly's own Interminable, with additional music from All the Kimonos. If you enjoy this week of episodes, share it with a friend. Also rate the show, leave us a review, and subscribe to our morning newsletter. We'll be back Monday morning with more news from around the city. Have a great weekend and be safe, y'all. Bye.